Hey, and welcome to today's video. Amerivespa 2019 is just around the corner. It's going to happen in the third week of June, and it's time to reveal the little project we've been working on. Together with SaintsCycleWorks out of Chattanooga, we are building the engine for one of the Raffle bikes that are going to be raffled off during Amerivespa. The bike you see on the screen here is a 1974 Vespa Super. It's an 8-inch bike. It's just nice and yellow, all patina. The guys from Club Scoot Jockey is going to take care of repainting it and restoring it to a nice and clean glory. And it's on me, that scooter thing, and Joe to build a really nice and powerful engine for the lucky winner to have fun. And we're going to start off by taking the old engine out. This bike definitely has seen better days. When getting into the engine, it was super crusty and super dirty. Even the oil has seen a little bit more viscosity back in its day. It smelled really nice, to say the least. So we started off by trying to take the cables off and the carburetor box off and disconnect the engine from everything that's left in there. Eventually we found out that everything is so crusted and crumbed up in there that we just decided to cut all the cables off. The guys from Club Scoot Jockeys, when they restore the frame, are gonna put all new cables, all new wires in it, so there was no harm, no foul, and just chopping everything off, making life a lot easier. When taking the electrical out, I tried to be all careful, you know, that's why I filmed this, to make sure that the wires go back where they belong. But eventually we decided we're gonna put an SIP vape ignition on them, and so this won't really matter. Coil, wiring, all that stuff's gonna disappear. With the engine completely disconnected, it was time to drop it. We decided to leave the wheel on. It just made life a hell of a lot easier. At this point, no one had to lean underneath. So disconnecting the shock and the swing arm, and we were ready to drop it. The only thing that was left in the frame was Graham's face. With the engine out, we threw it on one of the work tables in the shop. And what's really cool about this super engine, it has this neat little 4-bolt 8-inch wheel, so it's not the same as the closed rim wheels. And these hubs are pretty cool. It's going to be super easy to make this a wide tire. I think that's going to be the plan. And we took the hub off and the brakes off and all that stuff, and everything on that side looked neat. So there hasn't really been any big stones in our path until I got to the exhaust bolt. That thing was so tight in there that I had to use a little torch and heat it up so it would come loose a little bit better. Thankfully it came loose after that with a little bit of elbow grease, and I was able to take the exhaust off. We're not going to keep this exhaust, it's going to get replaced with a sportier box exhaust. This engine, pretty cool, is a 2-port. I tried to get into the flywheel, but that was a little bit complicated, so I decided to get into the cylinder first. And it's an oil-injected 2-port, which I think is kind of an interesting thing, because they also made 3 ports without oil injection. So this was like the transitional phase, you know, where engines move to oil injection. When I got the clutch cover off, which was also a little crusted in there, it was really funny because this clutch just came loose. It was super loose on the crankshaft. The crankshaft is just completely done. It was eaten up. This engine was definitely not running. The flywheel itself did not came loose. We had to use a little bit of force, so there's a little gap here in video. But once the flywheel was off, we used the right tools and we split the engine, banked the crankshaft out, took all our gears out after that. And basically we're left with a crusty and dirty engine. We boxed everything up. And I was getting ready to drive 12 hours to the other side of the country to meet up with Joe from SaintsCycleWorks. We're going to clean this up. It's going to look super shiny. It's going to get a 166, a dope exhaust. It's going to convert it to a 3-port. It's going to get a super big carburetor, a CDI ignition. This thing's going to fly. It's going to be on 8 inches. It's going to stay on 8-inch wheels. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you come to Amerivespa, you buy those raffle tickets, and you can drive home with this if you're lucky. This is it for today's video. In the next video, it's going to follow up really soon, probably after this weekend. We're going to look into all the work that we're doing down at SaintsCycleWorks. We're going to clean this, we're going to polish the cases, they're going to look like brand new, and we're going to do a lot of little port works and welding and that stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, don't forget to comment, subscribe, register for Amerivespa, and I'll see you then.